How we doing, everyone? And welcome back to another edition of FSI's PGA DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, and joined by John Cool 19. We have the 3M Open following up the Open Championship last week. John, did you enjoy some Open Championship, some early mornings, and are you excited for this week? And tell us about the significance of it.
It was nice. I actually enjoy the early morning golf for me, and being able to see guys finish up their round, the second wave starting. And actually, I really love Sundays, being able to have the round finish up earlier and get my Sunday evening a little bit. But it was awesome for me watching Colin Morikawa just destroy that course and put the lights out. That was really cool to see. I talk about him a lot on this show. He's one of my favorite golfers on tour, and to see him get that second major win was awesome. I got absolutely licked in daily fantasy. That is okay, though. I will bounce right back. Really pumped here for the 3M Open in my backyard, only a few minutes from the course. So, yeah, I'm ready to go this week. Super excited.
Heck yeah, this is the hometown course for you. TPC Twin Cities in Blaine, Minnesota. I'm looking forward to it. This is a actual pretty decent field we got this week, and I think the builds are really speaking to me, which is usually dangerous. That means right up until lock, I'm entering contests like a madman because I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. That's always the fun trap of DFS. But no, when you have a lineup that looks good early, that could also be really good to see come Sunday as well. But speaking of it, let's get into our picks. We have my favorite up at the top here, PATTON KIZZIRE, 8,600, 65 to 1. I think that's a pretty fair number for a guy that's won on tour before. As you can see, he's holding up the Sony Open Championship there. He's won on these coastal courses. This isn't really coastal, but we got a lot of water, so it kind of plays like that in a way. We were speaking before. This course is it's like Florida meets Midwest. It's sure. with the water everywhere, and you got the greens in the fairways that are more Midwest. So it's really interesting golf course. I like watching this event. PATTON KIZZIRE, birdie maker. This is a guy that scores above his finishing position when it comes to DraftKings points. I like that because he's a guy that can rack up birdies in bunches. You can get those eagles on those par fives. So I like him as my favorite, and I think you get a good value on him for a win and for your price tag on DFS. Tell me about your favorite and your thoughts on Mr. KIZZIRE.
Yeah, I think the number, if you're going to go PATTON KIZZIRE here, that outright number is really, really good. If you're looking at DraftKings, his price at 65 to 1, there's a handful of golfers that are much cheaper at 65 to 1 odds. Not to say that he isn't a good DraftKings pick, but I think the outright bet is really good. But you're right, though. He's a birdie maker in his last 36 rounds. He's number one, birdies are better. So this course is a birdie fest. So expect that he should have a good finish this week. Definitely check out my preview video, kind of going over all the stats we're looking at this week. We'll hit on most of them here with these slides. But yeah, I like PATTON KIZZIRE quite a bit here. For me, going as a favorite, it's tough not to pick somebody right up top like Dustin Johnson or Oosthuizen, both guys who had to play all the way through the weekend at the Open. Grillo actually played really well at the Open, but I'm going to go down a little bit safer in my opinion to go Grillo versus those guys up top. He's 9,300 on DraftKings, 35 to 1, I think is a good number there as well. He's going to get himself a good win here really soon. He's been playing excellent golf recently. For me, though, it comes down to the ball striking, which we're going to focus on quite a bit here tonight. Fourth ball striking over his last 36 rounds. He's second on approach, third in that birdies are better that I talked about, that KIZZIRE is number one. He is second on par four scoring behind only Oosthuizen, and he's second to greens in regulation only behind Doug Ghim. So I really like the way that the model is pointing out Grillo for me this week. He also was third place at the 2020 3M Open, so he's played the course and played it well. He was 12th at the Open Championship last week. Only 6 out of his last 10 cuts, which isn't awesome, but in those 6 cuts that he made, 8th at the Charles Schwab, 2nd at the RBC Heritage. He finished top 10 at Corrales Punta Cana, so a lot to like there. And we talk about guys, team can't putt. He's definitely on that team. But actually, when it comes to bent grass putting, he's basically at 0 strokes gained when you compare that to the other putting surfaces, that's really good for Emiliano Grillo, and I think that spells for a really good week for him if he can get over the jet lag, which that's our big concern with a lot of golfers who played the Open Championship. But he's a young kid. I think he can handle it better than maybe some of the older guys. So I'm going to play quite a bit of Grillo this week as my favorite.
Yeah, Grillo is a kind of guy that's gone throughout his career, bouncing back and forth from location to location, playing week to week. So I'm not necessarily worried about it for him, but I definitely am worried about it for Johnson and Louis Oosthuizen. I think those are guys, if they were to withdraw, you might see some of that news coming out tomorrow, Wednesday, or maybe or as early as Thursday morning. So it's really, really something to pay attention to up until lock is if some of these guys that we've watched, in the Open and US Open that have played some really strenuous golf over the past couple of weeks, if they're going to stick around for an event that's, 4 or 5 days before the Olympics. So yeah, careful with that and keep your eyes peeled, and don't be surprised when things happen to fall that way.
I do believe DJ has already announced he's not playing in the Olympics. That came a while ago. Although he should have been. I'm like 99% sure he said no, thank you. I think to the Olympics. But I'm not sure. Grillo could certainly be in there for his home country. A lot of these guys, Oosthuizen, I know at least was qualified for it. So there's a handful of guys that, just like you said, could kind of bow out and get over there. Or in the alternative, just play this one through here and see how it goes and then make the quick trip.
Sure. Okay, next up we have some value picks. I'm going to go start us off with Johnny Vegas at 7,500, 60 to 1. As you can see, that 60 to 1 price tag is lower than that KIZZIRE number, and he's got at least 1,100 in discount for DFS. So it's like the complete opposite of the pick that I just made. You get the value from DraftKings perspective instead of the outright. So that's what makes me want to bet that outright on KIZZIRE, because it looks like a misprice in the markets. But yeah, anyway, Vegas, really good ball striker. He's in a heck of a lot of good form. Last week, I believe he finished 11th at John Deere Classic. He had gained over 5 strokes in the approach, even gained 3.2 with his putter. He didn't gain any strokes off the tee, which is his specialty. So I figured if he did that, he might have had a shot at winning. I'm hoping he can bring some of that complete magic to the 3M here and score a lot of birdies. He did fairly well at the Palmetto too, coming in second. So Johnny Vegas, going to be great, with them, with the ball striking. He's good on par 4s, good at par 5s. He's way too cheap here at 7,500. Lock that in as a big cash play. Next up, I have Adam Schenk, 7,400, 100 to 1. I actually like that bet. He came in 4th at the John Deere Classic. There was even a moment on the back 9 where if he would have made like 3 or 4 birdies, he would have been possibly up there and getting into a playoff with Lucas Glover. So I'm really intrigued by that 100 to 1, and maybe like a top 5, each way or something like that to go with it. And I think, hey, why not Adam Schenk? Breakout victories happen on tour, and he's certainly a guy that flashed that high upside. And I think these are 2 perfect value plays for cash games. I'm gonna lean heavily on both for my big player pool. So what are your thoughts on these 2 gentlemen, and what do you have for us?
Yeah, Vegas stuck out to me when I ran my initial modeling. I think he's a fantastic option this week. Adam Schenk rated really, really well for me also, but I went with a guy right there in the pricing as Chez Reavie. Chez Reavie also 7,400. He is at 65 to 1. That is the same number as PATTON KIZZIRE to win. Again,
yeah,
it's just kind of an observation. It doesn't mean you can't play KIZZIRE or anything like that. He's a fantastic option.
That's just bet that number.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of leads me to think that you could get some good value in the betting market there. But yeah, Chez Reavie, there's a lot to like here. His last 6 events, he's made 5 out of 6 cuts. That includes 18th at the John Deere, 14th at the Palmetto, and 25th at Travelers, which we're looking at as a bit of a comp course here. He was 59th at the Open Championship. Didn't play awesome on the weekend, but certainly nice to see him play well in a super tough field over there. for him, though, that kind of drives me to him. This course, you absolutely need to be playing well off the tee, and that doesn't just mean distance. That means accuracy. There's a lot of trouble off the tee, whether it's water, the thick grass. There's some areas that you just do not want to be in on this course, and it can get you way out of sorts if you don't have good, accurate tee shots. He is really, really good off the tee when it comes to accuracy. Second in fairways gained, sixth in good drives gained over his last 36 rounds. 18th in ball striking. So he's checking quite a few boxes there. He's not going to be your longest hitter. He's not going to wow you with off the chart birdie numbers like KIZZIRE, but the accurate driver should lead to a good round, or I should say a good event for him this week. So I like Chez Reavie quite a bit at that same number as Schenk. Both of those guys are very interesting to me. But for me, as a great value play here, I think you have to lean on Lebioda this week and Vegas. But for me, Hank Lebioda is probably a top option. I think he will be super chalky, probably right up there with Johnny Vegas. Also,
Yeah.
he's on fire with the form right now. He has made his last 7 cuts on tour. That includes 8th place at the John Deere, 4th place at Rocket Mortgage, 5th at the Travelers, again, a comp course. And really, Rocket Mortgage is a good comp course as well. My one concern here is the putting. So I just rattled off those 3 top 10 finishes in his last 3 events, but he has gained 5.1 putting, 6.1 putting, and 5.8 putting in those 3 events. I don't think he can continue those numbers. That's not his normal. You can expect some regression this week for Hank Lebioda. I still, though, think he is a fantastic option, especially at this under 8K price. He finished 26th at this event last year, 34th the year before that. You're not going to find many guys besides Matthew Wolff with a better course history than him. And then the stats come back it up as well. 11th greens in regulation, 12th on par 4 scoring, 14th birdie or better, and he's 10th on approach and 21st ball striking. So a lot to like when it comes to the ball striking here and approach on Lebioda. I like him a lot this week. He is certainly on a very short list for one and done for me.
Yeah. Hank is going to be quite popular, and I think there's good reason for that, for all of what you stated. Under 8K, way too cheap. Rather not bet that number at 50 to 1 because I haven't seen Hank Lebioda win on tour. So
Sure.
I don't know. I think these are 2 really good value plays. But yeah, I'm going to be more interested on Hank on DraftKings than I will be in the betting market. Next, let's get into our sleepers. I'm going to go with Jason Dufner, a Cleveland guy rocking the boss hat here, 5-star general, the powder keg. He is just a fun golfer to roster. I rostered him last week for the Barbasol with, nobody paying attention. He did fairly well. I believe Dufner was inside the top 10. Let me pull that up here. Yeah, Dufner was 26th at the Barbasol. He must have had a bad Sunday, but he was inside that top 10 for quite a while. He finished the 18th at the John Deere as well. He's got all his usual form rocking. He's not a very good putter, so team no putt here. But at the 3M over the course of his two cuts made, 32nd in 2020 and 66th in 2019 in the inaugural event. He gained over 6.3 strokes on the approach last year. So Jason Dufner has the form, has the course history, and he has the experience to get it done for us in the sleeper department. 6,600, 200 to 1. If you want to throw a top 20 on Dufner, that's good money. I love throwing top 20 bets on Dufner to just get me to that, that top 20 threshold and hold tight. It's a fun ride. So what are your thoughts on the boss man here, and who's your favorite sleeper?
You're absolutely right. He is a fun golfer to watch. If I can make it out this weekend, he'll be a guy I'd certainly want to trot around with him for a handful of holes here and watch the big man eat. I am going for my sleeper, Bo Hogg. He is a golfer that not a lot of people know about, but I think in the industry, he's kind of coming out as a favorite of a handful of people, really liking to play him week in and week out. He's not quite as cheap as Jason Dufner, but at 7,100, 130 to 1 odds to win, I'd be more interested in a top 10 or top 20 bet. But really, the form is good. He's made 5 out of his 6 his last 6 cuts. The only missed cut was at the U.S. Open. He was 11th place last week at that Barbasol. He also finished at 13th place just a handful of weeks ago at the Memorial, again, a comp course. And he was 12th place at this event in 2020. So certainly he's played the course, played it well. But I like the numbers here: 19th in ball striking, 11th on approach, and 20th in greens regulation. He's also an accurate driver. He's top 25 good drives gained, 35th fairways gained. But for me, the last thing that I kind of hone in on week to week is I like to look at tee to green over the last handful of events. And we're talking like last 12 rounds. He's excellent tee to green. If he can just get the putter warmed up just a little bit, I expect big things out of Bo Hogg. He's been trending up very well recently. I think he's picking up some steam kind of in the industry, people chatting him up. I like Bo Hogg quite a bit this week. Again, he's a guy, if I can get out there this week, I will be watching Bo play a handful of holes, especially on that back 9, which is a lot of fun to trot around.
You know who you definitely have to try to find? Harry Higgs.
Harry Higgs.
Harry Higgs is in this field.
He's another super fun golfer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I do like Hogg and Duffner for DFS purposes. Maybe not Higgs, but if you're going to be at the tournament, there's probably not a better name to follow than him or
you
Joel
are
Dominor.
absolutely right. I would much rather watch any of those golfers versus trying to compete with the crowd to watch Dustin Johnson. Certainly, I'd like to see him hit a couple shots, hit a big drive or something. But I would much rather watch these golfers. When I went a couple years ago, nobody was following Colin Morikawa. I repeat, nobody was following Colin Morikawa around the course.
Wow, that'd be changed.
Walk up and basically chat with him, and absolutely, yes, things have changed drastically. I would much rather see some of these younger guys, not just Jason Duffner is not a younger guy, but some of these guys that aren't going to have the big crowds, you can get right up close, see some excellent golf shots, and some guys that will be playing on tour for a long time with some success. I don't know who's the Colin Morikawa in this field. That year, it was Colin Morikawa 2, Matthew Wolff number 1. Neither of them had any fans following them around, which was awesome for me.
Yeah. The 3 university guys coming out is John Pock, Quade Cummings, and Angus Flanagan. Angus Flanagan played in the event last year. He's from the University of Minnesota. Yep. So maybe he's got some better luck. He missed the cut last year, but those are our 3 university guys. Tell me why I know that. I was literally looking at it right before we got on here. So got lucky it was brought up.
Van Rooyen is also a Golden Gopher alumni.
Yeah. Yep.
A couple golfers have some more connection. I know Hoagie's from here as well. A handful of guys that are kind of from the area or went to high school here. So, but I'll definitely be seeing some of those guys if I can.
Cool. I hope that's a fun event. I like our sleepers here. I like the picks that we got. The field is kind of shaping up nicely as far as salary goes. So let's jump into some of our one and done picks here. I'm going to go with Tony Finau. I'm swinging for the fences here. I'm using my studs that I think can win. And it shouldn't really throw that in the same sentence with a guy like Tony Finau, but he did lose in a playoff last year, or lost on the stretch to Michael Thompson last year. So, I mean, he has the ability to win this event if he doesn't choke it, but that's for Sunday to decide. But hey, if he can get me there in the top 5, maybe even a second place will pay out pretty well and continue to jump up. But yeah, who you're going to go with, Hank, and maybe decide later on this week?
Yeah, I'm going to take Hank for now. If I make a change, I'll make a change. But I like everything about him at the price. I also, something that you always kind of fear in one and done as you get towards the end of the season, there's only 5-6 events left. And all the best golfers in the field you've already used. That is my situation this week. I do not have any of those big guys up top with the exception of Oosthuizen. I have not used him yet this year. I don't know if I'm going to end up using him. I think I missed my chances to make some big money off of Oosty, but give me Hank Lebioda. I'm going to ride that form. Hopefully continue to kind of either stay put in the winning above the cash line here in one and done, or maybe creep up just a little bit to earn some extra money down the stretch. I think we have like 5 events left. This is 1 of 5 or 1 of 6. I can't remember.
It's 1 of 5 or 6. I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. So, and I think that at that point it was like 8 or 9 events left. So I'll probably have to look at that, but I'm just rolling with the punches here and trying to get myself a victory. It's been real fun from Fantasy National Golf Club. Big shout out to them for putting on this event. I'm sure me and you will be back if they host it again next year. Hopefully we get some quick dibs for being in this event already this year, and maybe even throw a couple more darts into the pile come next year. So that'll wrap things up. John, anything else to add on this event?
No, again, super excited. Check out the preview video. There's lots of good nuggets in there for what we're looking at. We kind of hit on some of those stats this tonight's show, but there's a lot going on with this course that's kind of different from some other courses that we've played recently here. It is a birdie fest, but driving distance, not that important. And there's not much course history, just 2 years to go by. So a lot of other things to kind of put your focus on this week.
John absolutely nails it. He's got the insider edge. He's that close. So definitely give that preview video a look. Thank you for listening in on this. Please like and comment below. If you'd like to get into the Discord from our into our Discord channel, you can find that link on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS. You can follow me at TKNation47. That is John Cool 19. Thank you guys. And stick around for some showdowns later this week and pop in that Discord and get some cores for tomorrow. See you later.
Sweet. Good luck.